I use technology for communication, but I don't have a Blackberry or an iPhone. I use an outdated cell phone, but I'm fine with it. I think what makes people fascinating is conflict. It's drama, it's the human condition. Nobody wants to watch perfection. There's a fine line between the method actor and the schizophrenic. Look, I happen to still like really dark, dramatic, fractured characters. Science fiction is a way that I can go into the abstract, go into the imagination, and audiences are still willing to go along for the ride. I try to make 2 movies a year. To me, that's not too much. On top of that, I like to work. It's amazing marrying someone who wants nothing to do with Hollywood. I am not a demon. I am a lizard, a shark, a heat-seeking panther. I want to be Bob Denver on acid playing the accordion. I don't drink blood, and last time I looked in the mirror, I had a reflection. You can't make your choices based on what critics think. You have to make your choices based on what's honest for you. Zoology has always been interesting to me. Nature is fascinating. I've always maintained that I see myself as a student. There's always something to learn and be challenged by and hopefully grow from. I don't want to sit around by the pool luxuriating with a margarita. That's just not what I want to do. I want people to discover my movies, and however they choose to receive it is their business. I know what it's like to meet someone you admire and have them be a complete jerk. I've always had an interest in Louisiana, especially New Orleans. Personally, my interests are ancient history and ancient civilizations. In my own life, I'd like to go to places like Easter Island. I do enjoy animated movies. I really love anime and movies like Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle. I think it's no secret that I've tried to take chances in my career and also in my life, and I believe to not live in fear. I've gotten pretty good at leaving characters on the set. I go home and try to relax and regroup and be ready for the next day. Acting is like any other art form, in that you have the option to go very big or go very small. I like both Blu-ray and DVD, but Blu-ray gives you more options. I happen to still like really dark, dramatic, fractured characters. They're the reason I got into movies. I love all animals. I have a fascination with fish, birds, whales, sentient life, insects, reptiles. As a teenager I was more of an anarchist. But now I want people to thrive and be harmonious. To be a good actor you have to be something like a criminal. To be willing to break the rules, to strive for something new. When I act, I hear it like music. In my head, I hear the dialogue like music. Someone like Vincent Price or somebody like Christopher Lee, they never won an award, and it doesn't matter. They're cool. Children, to me, are of the utmost importance. They're really the future, aren't they? I believe that there's a way to question authority with manners, with dignity. There's no reason to be rude about it. I always see America as really belonging to the Native Americans. Even though I'm American, I still feel like a visitor in my own country. I like fantasy. I like horror, science fiction because I can get avant-garde with those performances in those movies. I've always had a soft spot for comic books. I learned to read from them. The words in them were so interesting. My father was always getting excited about something. It's genetically inside me somewhere. I care about the connection with the audience. Film is such a powerful medium. Movies can change the way people think. Disney has a great tradition of enchanting children and giving them something to behold. Passion is very important to me. If you stop enjoying things, you've got to look at it, because it can lead to all kinds of depressing scenarios. I wanted to make an image for myself as an outlaw type. A kind of rock and roll sensibility. The fact that Astro Boy appealed to me as a boy in America was proof that the story and character transcend cultural stereotypes. I'm not really gadget-oriented. I'm not into technology or computers. I'm not good at interfacing with that sort of gear. Picasso said, "Art is a lie that tells the truth." What if you just want to tell the truth and not lie about it? It's a family that's loaded with grudges and passion. We come from a long line of robbers and highwaymen in Italy, you know. Killers, even. Guy Pearce is very precise and clear about understanding the rhythm and the music of a scene. Having been a father for 19 years, I realize fatherhood has changed me. The biggest problem for me was feeling that as I became more balanced and a better man that I wouldn't have the fire to create from. I'm not afraid to play ugly. Look at adaptation. I looked like a turd that a cat had coughed up. For me, acting was a way of taking destructive energy and doing something productive with it, and in that way it was quite a lifesaver. I bought a Yamaha one and I was doing 180 miles per hour home on the 405, and that's really crazy, but I did it. I'm the first to admit that I like going to, or my memories at least, of going to Clint Eastwood movies or Charles Bronson or James Bond. The movies I cannot go without and that I watch annually are A Clockwork Orange, Scarface and Fantasia. I have a love-hate relationship with the city of New Orleans, which is the strongest kind of relationship. I think that if you go about making movies to win Oscars, you're really going about it the wrong way. My mother was a dancer, so I like to use the body as part of the instrument of acting. I definitely went through my magic phase. I think all little boys do at some point or another. They get fascinated by magic tricks. I'm not a trained actor. I'm someone who is autodidactic and learned on my own. Actors have an opportunity to use storytelling as a way to solve pain. I try to do as many stunts as they'll let me do. I think it's important for an audience to feel that the actor's really doing it. One of my goals is to have a base near mainland China. I think Hong Kong would be a good match for me. I like being in Hong Kong. I would like to find a way to embrace what Led Zeppelin did in filmmaking, One day, one of my dreams is to someday get to do Nemo in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Good science fiction is intelligent. It asks big questions that are on people's minds. It's not impossible. It has some sort of root in the abstract. Idris Elba is a grand actor. He's very larger than life. He's bigger than life. Celebrity is a word I take great umbrage with. I'm actively anti-celebrity. I don't want a perfect character. I want a character who has, as strange as it sounds, some humanity, some flaws, some needs. If I could have been a marine biologist I would have, but I didn't have that kind of intelligence. Numbers were never my strong point. I don't want to just do independent movies, and I don't want to just do adventure films. I enjoy both, and I think both are cogent. I don't think movies are the reason why this violence exists. I think it's going to happen whether movies are there or not. I think I've spent more time in front of a camera than off camera. That's just the way it is. I would love to work with Tim Burton. I think we would be very good together.